We got 4 players. And over this time, Mark, we've had over the Manny Diaz regime, we've had, excuse me, Coach Manny Diaz regime. We've had times where he's had players go to the NFL, and we've had the stigma of day 3 EU. Some of his best players have all been drafted in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. For the first time, he's going to have 2 players be drafted on day 1 from his defensive side of the ball under Coach Manny Diaz. Because the last first-round defensive player that we had was Artie Burns, who was a part of the 2016 recruiting class, but it was before Coach Manny, not recruiting class, 2016 NFL draft, before Coach Manny Diaz was our DC. So that's the only issue when it comes to when it comes to what Coach Manny Diaz has been doing. He's been producing NFL guys, but he's been producing day 3 guys. Jaquan Johnson in the 4th round. Cedric Redwine, flip. Redwine was in the 4th round. Jaquan Johnson was in the 5th round. 4th round, Shaq Quarterman. Then you also had Gerald Willis, who went undrafted. Kendrick Norton, who was in the 7th round. R.J. McIntosh, who was a 6th rounder. Joe Jackson, who was a 6th rounder. You had Michael Jackson, the corner for the Cowboys, was a 6th rounder. Also, John Garvin was a 7th rounder. So he's been building. It's been a gradual buildup, but he's gotten better and better and better in his evaluation of the players, and hopefully we're getting them to start producing on the other side. Now, you get a guy, let's start out with Greg Rousseau. So Greg Rousseau decides to opt out of the 2020 season. And I don't even know what could have happened if you match him and Jalen Phillips on the same field together. That would have been so amazing to see, but we didn't. He made the best choice for him where he goes and gets a private trainer. He's up to like 272, Mark. The dude looks out of this world. Physically, he looks great. I listened to a couple of interviews with him, and it seems as though either his personal trainer, Coach Chuck Smith down in Atlanta, told him, either his agent told him, or he's done a lot of self-evaluations, but he's looked at a lot of the stuff that he did in the 2019 season as a redshirt freshman at 19 years old. And he looks at the fact that he needs to come up with more moves. He looks at the fact that he needs to have counter moves. He needs to show speed. He needs to take over games. All those type of things. He's openly speaking about the fact that he has to change if he wants to have success at the NFL level. Another question for him is, at 6'7", 270 pounds, what are you? Okay, are you a 3-4 interior lineman, or are you a 4-3 strong side defensive end? Or are you in like a Terrell Suggs, who was 270? Are you a strong side 3-4 stand-up outside linebacker? What do you bring to the table? And he talked about being super diverse and really being able to be a scheme diverse player. I don't really know if I see that much for him. I think he's a true 4-3 strong side DM. But I want to see this new Greg Rousseau that he's talking about being now. Someone that isn't just going to bull rush you or long arm you or just out athlete you to the QB. Because you get to the NFL level and these right and left tackles have tight end feet, guard hands, and tackle size. Okay, they are athletes just as well as you are. All right, you can't just be zooming past and work a quick swim over the far side right arm and think you're going to make it to the QB. It doesn't work like that anymore. You know, in high school, Mark, and I know you evaluate high school film from time to time. You pop on a young man's highlight tape, and they just fly right past the right tackle. You know, they run around them, a quick dip rib, quick swim. You know, you don't really see them truly working moves unless they come from some of these elite programs where they're getting coached up and high technique is required to be on the field. So you saw a lot of that with Greg Rousseau in his 2019 film, was that he just out-athleted and super long, and he just had that effort and that want to. He just went out and made plays. I'm hoping he can take the coaching he's getting from Coach Chuck Smith, and add it and make it the piece that clay together of the player that he can truly become. This young man, the sky is no limit for him. I'm not saying he's going to walk into the National Football League and beat Von Miller. That's not what I'm saying. But if he goes and gets coached up well, it's going to be a problem for whatever conference he's in, because he's going to make plays. Great football IQ, great length, great effort. And if you got a young man who wants to be coached, who gives that effort on the football field, who doesn't mind running down on specials, he doesn't mind being on field goal because he understands I'm 6'7". Yeah, I could be one of the wings on a field goal or punt team, things of that nature. I really love what he's bringing to the table. And I hope he goes to a team where he's not forced to be the man too early, Mark. That's my personal opinion. Like, I don't want him to go to the Giants or the Cowgirls or something like that where he's forced to – they want him to be the guy from day one, because you're going to be getting a young man that when he touches your field, he may be 20 and a half going on 21. You can't expect him to be out here with late 20, 30-year-old men, grown men, jumping off the screen to you really early in his career. And you don't need all that outside pressure. The New York press has this thing. And you talk about Skip Bayless and those guys on national TV when they have their favorite teams. You got to be careful when you get drafted there. So for me, I see him somewhere in the mid first round, 11 through 20. I've seen him as early as 8 or 9, and I've seen him as late as 26th earlier. It's like, wow, that's a big drop off for him way at 26. But I think it could also really work for what I want for the young man, as far as him going to a quality organization, him going to a quality team, to where he doesn't have to be that guy too early. And if he goes later on in the first round, that usually means what? He's getting drafted by a better team. If he gets drafted in the mid first round, he's going to a team that's like 8-8, 9-7, like they're middle of the road pack, and he can go help get him over the hump. If he goes too early, then he's going to a bad team where they absolutely need him to make plays day one. So I think it works out better for a young man like Gregory Rousseau to go in late first round, but he does have a mid first round grade for me. I really like what he brings to the table.
Yeah, based on what I've been able to find here, CBS Sportsline has Rousseau going to the Vikings at 14. And to your most recent part of your dissertation, number 27 to the Ravens is the pick by Bleacher Report for Greg Rousseau. I've not been able to track down Mel Kiper and Todd McShay's lists. They're under that locked ESPN Plus.
See, now Mel is the only one. Mel Kiper is the one I've seen that has him rated at 9th overall to the Giants, which I understand to a certain extent, but I'm one of those people that I don't want to see that for one of my guys, because I know what's going to happen. He's going to get all that pressure. They're going to expect him to be LT or what's the young man, that defensive end, 92. Michael Strahan, there we go.
Yep. And
he's not those guys, at least not right now. Got to give him time to grow. Michael Strahan was drafted, he was 23. LT was 24. This young man is 20. He needs his time to get to that level.